The first couple of weeks at Caltech had been slow. Cor was allowed the time to get to know the place. There was a lot of advanced equipment in the Kellogg laboratory, which he was excited to work with. In February of 1959, he started working together with Henry H. Hilton, who was planning to get his PhD in June that year. The experiment and thesis of Hilton was focused on a comparison of the beta spectra of boron-12 and nitrogen-12, an attempt to test the nature of the vector interaction in beta decay. They encountered a lot of issues with leaks and malfunctions in the equipment, and the finding and fixing of these leaks was taking up a lot of their time. Leaks were not new to Cor. They occurred often at the lab of Utrecht University as well. Soon, Cor and Henry started working nights too, and at a certain point, Cor only came home for dinner, went back to the lab, came home in the early hours of the morning to get some sleep, only to head back to the lab a couple of hours later. They kept having to overcome obstacles, but in April they finally were getting ready to start 3 rounds of measuring. On April 29th, they finished their experiments and took a couple of days off. As you can imagine, it had also been very difficult for Jenny to be alone so much, taking care of Erika by herself. So she was very relieved to have her husband home again more often. In his thesis, Henry specifically mentions and thanks her for her encouragement and patience. They now had an enormous amount of numbers and figures, and it would take them a while to do the calculating part of the experiment. Luckily, they wouldn't have to make such long hours, because for calculating you only need paper and pencils instead of complicated equipment. That same week, Cor, Jenny and Erika had been to an exhibition of the first colored photographs of stars, taken at the Palomar Observatory at Caltech. Up until that point, it had not been achievable to take colored photographs of stars because the film was too insensitive. But with the development of a new type of color film, it was possible, although it still took 4 hours of exposure time. It was incredible to be able to see the colors of the universe for the first time. The photos were also published in the May issue of National Geographic magazine, and Cor encouraged his family to try to get hold of a copy because it was very much worth seeing for themselves. On May 9th, there was a picnic with colleagues from Caltech up in the mountains. Professor Fowler and his wife offered to give Cor, Jenny and Erika a ride because Cor didn't have any experience driving in the mountains yet. They were very grateful for the thoughtful offer. They played baseball, enjoyed some food, and went on a little hike. It was a nice way to get to know colleagues and their families in a relaxed setting. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I wanted to let you in on a little secret, or mistake rather, that I made in the trailer of this series. I spent a lot of time reading the letters and digitalizing all the slides, and some of them were a little mixed up. So when I found a slide that said generators, I immediately thought that must have been taken at Caltech. Unfortunately, I haven't inherited even a single atom of talent in the field of physics, but I am familiar with the Van der Graaf generator, so I was easily convinced and put the photograph together with pictures taken at Caltech. After diving a little further into the notes that my grandfather had made, I found out that the generators actually belong to the Grand Coulee Dam in Washington, which my grandparents and mother visited on one of their road trips. I just wanted to mention this in case anyone had noticed, and of course I don't want to practice pseudo-history, so here I am, correcting it. After all, that's the way it works in science too. No knowledge or theory is final. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next week.